Hello, here I review movies and today's film is a classic. Saving Private Ryan is a war film that takes place during World War II. After taking Omaha Beach, Captain Miller and his men are ordered to find and return with a paratrooper named Private Ryan. Robert Rodat wrote the story and Steven Spielberg directed the film. It has more famous faces than an Oscar show, but it stars Tom Hanks as Captain Miller, Matt Damon as Private Ryan, and Tom Sizemore as Sergeant Horvath. Normally I'd run through the good and then the bad. In this instance, there are things that I don't like about the production, but nothing here is badly done. The writing, the acting, the visuals, and the soundtrack are all top quality. The film even manages to be exceptional 26 years after its release. The war scenes might be the best ever filmed. They are also the kind of thing you will likely never see attempted again in your lifetime. The sheer scale of the special effects, costume work, makeup, and sets that they built for the battle sequences are unmatched by anything else. Now they would have digital effects for huge portions of these battles and they just wouldn't look the same. Now to go over the film itself. The story is a tragic epic about 9 men risking their lives to find and rescue a private named Ryan. It relies on a lot of heavy emotions and gives a gut-wrenching depiction of war that will have you tearing up constantly. The characters are fascinating to watch and get developed to an incredible degree. We don't just bond with these men on their journey, we learn to love them warts and all. The story is also filled to the brim with passion, drama, clever dialogue, horrifying and exhilarating battle sequences, and enough tragedy to last you a lifetime. I actually feel a little tired after watching it. The general cast gives some of the most memorable performances I've ever seen. All of them are there playing normal men caught in a hellish situation, and you get to see just about every emotion known to man. You see cruelty, happiness, joking, revenge, sadness, fear, hell. They even have several men break mentally. Everyone is knocking it out of the park, even the actors who get 2 seconds of screen time. One of my favorite performances from this film is a guy who gets his arm blown off and wanders around looking for it while in complete shock. It's such a visceral moment that it made my stomach churn. For standout performances, you basically have to list every actor in the film. Rather than do that, I'll talk a little about a few of the big ones that I really liked. Tom Hanks, for example, plays the stoic captain suffering from shell shock. He tries his damnedest to hold it together for his men, but in private bawls his eyes out. Hanks plays out a lot of subtle emotional work, a lot of great shell shock scenes, and delivers a ton of powerful speeches. Giovanni Ribisi plays a medic under Captain Miller. He's a quiet man who has a great respect for life and tries his hardest to save every man he meets. Ribisi gets to do a sad monologue about his childhood and does some great fear and injury reactions. His final scene was heartbreaking. Jeremy Davies and Jorg Stadler together create one of the film's most powerful side stories. Davies plays an American soldier who is new to war and naive about the inner complexities of it. Stadler plays a soldier they capture during the film. The interactions between these two do an impressive job of humanizing the German soldiers and reminding the audience that every one of the men dying in this war is still human. Both of them show great emotional work. Visually, the film takes place in France. First, we watch the D-Day invasion of Omaha Beach before moving on to Captain Miller's adventure through the French countryside. The emotional moments are filmed clearly with a focus on capturing the actors' performances, while the battles are shaky, hectic scenes filled with special effects and extras. The journey does a great job of getting the story's emotions and themes across while providing dramatic-looking scenery and epic battles that capture the horror of war. The set work, the makeup, and the extras come together to create bloodbaths that would make the hardest of criminals whimper. The battles see men blown to pieces, shot, run over, and cut in half by shrapnel. It's so bloody and filled with death that it could almost be classified as a slasher horror, except the makeup is all of the highest quality. Some of the injuries are nausea-inducing. They also create an electrifying level of tension through great editing. Sound-wise, the film uses scored instrumentals with a lot of military style to them. They use horns and trumpets, and the songs tend to have a very refined, sort of regal feel to them. They tend to be dramatic and do a wonderful job of following the emotional journey and amplifying the scenery within. They're a bit generic, but they're so well used that the soundtrack ends up standing out anyway. Personally, I love this film from a creative perspective. From a human standpoint, it is very difficult to watch. The deaths in this film are so visceral that I had a hard time making it through the beach scene the first time I watched it. Having said that, the story is important for people to see and understand. I would encourage everyone to watch this film, even if you hate war films. Especially if you hate war films. This movie doesn't shy away from what war is really like, and it doesn't leave you feeling good about it. As for a rating, I'm going to give this one a perfect score. 10 out of 10. Remember, these are just my thoughts on the film. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Bye-bye.